I would say Dino Thunder Power Up, but I would think that intro fits more for Dynamorphia, and probably expect an update from Andrew because he likes the deck too, so he stole it from me, and you might expect him to probably upload one next because I'm still trying to get stuff like wannabes and all that, so expect that, but for now, expect actual dinosaurs. Let's get to it, shall we? Of course, at first, everyone's favorite dino, Holy Raptor. We know what he does. Either add or send a dino card. Most of the time you're adding miscellaneous dump. Miscellaneous dump to give protection, banish, summon the Animadern. Animadern starts all your shenanigans. And speaking of shenanigans, you cannot have shenanigans without 3 of the baby Ceratosaurus. Or if our local fool was here, he would say pop the baby. And speaking of popping babies, we got 5, so we got the 2 Pteranodons, the 3 baby Ceratosaurus. Only problem I have is you run out of your level 4s real quick with this build, so be careful with it. So most of the time you want to try being smart with popping the Pteranodons when you want to get into your 6s, because you're going to see the Transcentrics, which you probably already saw from the title. Speaking of shenanigans, your Animaderns, pop the baby, get a free summon, get the pill, free pluses for days. And speaking of pluses for days, when any card on the field is destroyed, he summons himself. You pop a card on the field, you summon a level 6 normal dino. So level 6 or lower normal dino, or any normal dino. I just think of it as level 6 or lower because of the combos I have. But so he summons any any normal dino from hand or deck, so keep an eye on that. And remember, if you use this effect, you are locked into stuff like worms, sea serpents, dinos, so if you can, try and make his effect last, so that way you're just going into whatever you need last. So if you got your Appos, your all that, make them first, because he'll lock you if you use your effect right after. The big boss monster to Ultimate Conductor Tyranno, because this is, even to this day, still one of the scariest boss monsters to try and get through, and can still clear 99% of the Yu-Gi-Oh card pool. One Misk because it's Misk. You like to have your protection and your free summoning. Giant Rex, he's basically another free summoning because of Misk and Pill. My tech of the deck, one Bear Rock Dragon. He basically has the same ability as Meteorus, where if a card on the field is destroyed, he summons himself. So he can be your extender to either make a rank 6, Synchro 12, or basically those mostly those 2 if you want to combo with Meteorus. So, you know, getting him plus baby means plays for days. Especially since it would have made it broken if they made him this way, but for the most part, his other ability to where he can defend your stuff, because when he's destroyed, you can summon a rock and or dino from grave, so he's basically another wall that your opponent has to try and go through if they're clearing your board. So he can either be an extender for one of your big monsters or an extra line if you actually hard summoned your conductor. A free way to bring conductor back. Pink because it's pink. I'm surprised this thing is still at 1 when something like Fenrir is at 3. The mighty Mega Zowler and Sword Armor Dragon. So basically these are my targets for Meteorus, to either make my Gigantozauler, to make my Glaciosaurus, or to make the Drill, I keep forgetting his name because I never really play him, the Drill Actiactus, or we'll see right now when I actually show you guys, because I do play it. So yeah, these are my level 6 Earth Dinos. Why am I only seeing that I'm playing Earths? Well, it's because I got Litho in here, so everything in here is mostly Earth to try and proc his effect, because now that stuff like Kashtira and all that got hit and have their stuff at 1, you can theoretically get rid of them because you're banishing their 1-ofs. And speaking of Litho, here he is. 2-ofs, everything's Earth. Banishing 3 from the extra deck is still one hell of an effect. I don't know why they brought him back to 3 again, especially now with all the Transcendosaurus stuff, because all the Transcendosaurus stuff brings themselves back by sending back a normal monster. So popping Gigantozauler and a baby with him on field is basically just giving you pluses for days, because Gigantozauler comes back, gets you a dinosaur card from grave, and then you're popping baby, so that means you're summoning Ovi, you're summoning something, so there's no end in your combos if your opponent cannot stop you. Draw and Lockbird, because we don't like people getting too much advantage over us. And because of Bear Rock letting us bring back a dinosaur on a rock, Nibiru, because I can actually be able to bring back a Nib and a Dino if I really wanted to, if they have them both engraved. So end your opponent's turn with Nib, and if it gets destroyed to the graveyard somehow, you get to bring it back with Bear if they pop it. 3 Fossil Dig, because you can't have too much consistency in dinos. And speaking of consistency, 3 Ground Dino, because you want to see your Meteorus and you want to see your normal monsters. Surprisingly enough, you actually do want to see your normal monsters.
Another.
And on top of that, if you have, this guy in hand and you pop with Ground Dino, it's more free summons, and then you'll surprise your opponent when you say normal summon after you make a full board. 2 pill, because it's 2 pill. You still like to summon the mighty conductor for free. 1 Diagram and 2 Lost World, because we got set rotation here. So basically, either give yourself the Diagram and give your opponent the Lost World, or give yourself the Lost World, give your opponent the Diagram. Just make sure you're not playing a true Draco player, or else you'll be making a big ass mistake if you give them Diagram. But for the most part, you can flip around and give your opponent the field spell that'll hurt them but help you at the moment. So this guy at Litho, pop baby, free stuff, and then on top of that, Lost World, make tokens, pop them, make free plays. Harpies, because we don't like back row. Monster Reborn, because the Transcendent stuff love to come back, and they love to come back from grave, and they get extra effects when they come back from grave. So it's basically you got to play this to bring them back. Then Call by the Grave, because Call by the Grave. Then on to the extra deck. We're taking a play out of the Invoked Engines extra deck. Link Karibo and Secure Gardener, because make Animadern, make Link Karibo, make Secure Gardener. Oh, look at that. You basically got a free play for your pill right there, because you just sent a non-dinosaur to your graveyard. Cross Sheep, because now that you do make the Gigantozauler, you do like to use the Cross Sheep's effect to bring back your dinos. Your dinos will then continue your plays, because most of the time you're bringing back stuff like your Oviraptor to make plays, your Animadern to get a pill. Pentastag, because piercing everything with Ultimate Conductor Tyranno is still a win con. BLS, because we're playing a lot of level 10 and 12s, so one of those can go into this guy to give him his immunity. And then Appaloosa, because you are a lot of times on keeping level 4s, Animadern, and other stuff like that on field, so might as well use all that extra fodder to go into extra negates with Appaloosa. Dolga to negate the monster effects.
Wait, hold on. You're gonna. Oh yeah.
Logias to negate spell traps and monster summons. 2 of the Drilly Boy for now, because I'm waiting for the next set to come out that has the new Evil Azor, so he'll basically be taking that spot. But until then, it's got him, and he's good to have, because after you use your miscellaneous effect to banish him, guess what? He'll bring him back. He special summons a banished dino, so he can recycle your miscellaneous to keep using the effect over and over again. Too many people are sleeping on this card. 1 Chongyun. Why? Because surprisingly enough, we can still make him when under the lock of Meteorus. And on top of that, since a lot of your stuff gets popped to activate their effects like Ultimate Conductor, Gigantozauler, and all them, he can protect himself. And then on top of that, banish stuff on your opponent's field and graveyard. 1 Glaciosaurus, because this thing just basically becomes a towers when it comes back from the field. He can't be targeted or destroyed by battle or by card effects, and he gives that to other dinos who are summoned from grave. So if you're summoning everything back from grave, like your Conductor, your Gigantozauler, and all them, they will be untargetable, undestroyable towers with him on field. That is terrifying. Add mist protection on top of that. What the hell can you do with them? Then of course 2 Gigantozauler, because when he's summoned, basically gives you back dinos from your graveyard back to hand to keep your plays going. And then when he's summoned from grave, he basically pops a card on your field and your opponent's field. So this guy is basically a dino version of Scrap Dragon or the Fusion Boral. So you pop cards. So a lot of times you're popping the baby or you're popping another Transcendosaurus to bring them back. And look at that, everything has immunity. But hey, that's Transcendosaurus Dinosaur. Hope you guys like, comment, and subscribe, and go Dinos.